Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. We've got some pretty interesting news today. We've got a bit of a variety today. We've got a couple of topics to discuss, all very interesting. Bitcoin has been holding its price very, very well within the last 24 hours. So we will be discussing that as well. And we'll take a look at what we should expect over the weekend. So please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Let's see what's going on. Now, first story of the day is just a little bit of a bizarre one here. We have Sam Bankman-Fried in prison trading mackerel for a haircut. So we're seeing news stories here today reported by the Wall Street Journal suggesting that he traded 4 packets of mackerel for a haircut in prison before his criminal trial last month. According to the report, mackerel packs became the hottest commodity used for trading in prisons after tobacco products were banned. So that's what we're seeing there, trading in prison. We can't keep them away from the game here. Let's see what else is going on in the news. First of all, I want to take a look at the Bitcoin price, see what's happening here. So Bitcoin is trading at $37,635, up 0.13% within the last 24 hours, so not too much. And we're seeing Ethereum is at $2,110, up 1.38%. Robert says we can't see your face. On my end, it looks like you can. Let me see. Is this any better? I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. Let's see how we can fix that. Let me know if you can see everything. You can see my face, you can see the screen, you can see what we're looking at in the chat. It looks okay on my end. Let's take a look here at what the biggest gainers of the day are. We're looking at SEI up only 17%. That's a massive gain within the last 24 hours. Miner is up 12%. Ethereum on proof of work is up 7%. And the graph is up 6.18% there as well. Biggest losers of the day, FTT, as volatile as ever, down almost 10%. We've got Clay, Rune, and Cake between 4 and 7% there as well. Lee says in the chat, great to see he's learning an honest trade. Well, exactly. Things are changing. Let's take a look at what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here today and see what's in store. So it cuts your face off. Let's see how we can fix this. It looks okay on my end. It looks like we can see it all. I think I'll be able to fix this. Let's pull this out. Maybe that's a little bit better. Let me know if you can see my face and the screen now. Let me know if there are any problems. So what we've got here on the daily chart is Bitcoin has been resilient, even though it's at this level of resistance right now. In yesterday's stream, we did have Ross from Crypto Saving Expert. Please make sure to show support whenever he is on the channel. That was his first ever live stream yesterday, and he will be doing many, many more with me and on his own as well. So make sure to check that out. James says, Jess, you are hiding. I don't know what's going on with today's layout. It should be that you can see me and the screen here. I just didn't want to make myself too big or too small. The layout options on this site aren't great. Let me know if you can see me now. Let's see what's going on here. We have on the daily chart this massive level of resistance that we used as a support multiple times in the previous bull market. You can see that on this chart here. We use these blue lines here as a level of resistance and support numerous times. So that's acting like a solid level of resistance right now. You can see that on the daily chart. We have tried to attack these levels so many times, but we have not been successful in breaking through that. This is the zone here, so this big blue grid here. You can see we've been in this zone 4 times now. Unfortunately, have not broken through it, but there is still potential there, and we are still trying to fight through that today. You are too far to the right in your pick. I don't know why this is happening on this stream where the preview, what I can see, is not what you can see. Let's see if that is any better. Let me know in the chat if that has improved it at all. It's not an easy software, this. We changed software a couple of days ago. I think I might go back to the old one. It's just that this one's easier to collab on, and we had that Miss Team Crypto, and we had Ross on yesterday as well. So if you've not watched the stream of Miss Team Crypto, I would recommend you do so. That was very interesting. She gives a lot of in-depth opinions. She's very good at articulating exactly what's going on in the market. So make sure to check that out. Let's take a look at what's going on here. We are at that resistance. We've not yet broken through the resistance. I'm being cautious at these levels. As I said in yesterday's stream when we were at about these points here, I'm very cautious because we've been at this resistance before. We have seen a push to the downside off the back of this before, and we did see that yesterday for a short period of time, but we have had some sort of rebounds here. So I'm keeping a close eye on it, but I am being cautious at these points. If we manage to see a breakthrough, if we manage to see some candles close above that level of resistance, then that will flip and I'll be looking more positively at the markets. But right now, I'm just being a little bit nervous about what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. It seems, hopefully it's a little bit better. James says you can see most of you now. Hopefully that's okay. And by tomorrow, I'll have a look at today's stream and see how I can fix that. Not tomorrow, because it's Saturday tomorrow. By Monday, we will do that. Let's talk about that anyway, because it is Friday. So we need to take a look at the CME gap and see what's going on there. I don't know why that's, there we go. We can see here, the CME chart is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange chart for Bitcoin, and we can see it creates gaps in the markets. This week has been bullish overall. We didn't have a CME gap last weekend. We are waiting to see what price this closes tonight, because that will be a telltale sign of what we are looking at towards the start of next week. What we will see here is if we have a gap for the markets, it will act like a magnet. This week we had a shock move to the downside that did close the CME gap from last weekend. So just make sure to keep an eye on this over the weekend. If there's a gap in the chart, like there was here, for example, it acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price, and it may help you analyze what's happening at the start of next week. Let's see what else is going on for Ethereum. Let's see what's going on here today. We have on the Ethereum chart, do you know what? This trade's not looking too bad. The problem with this was it was too big of a chart to trade in terms of like leverage, in my opinion. And because Bitcoin's at that level of resistance, I've been a little bit cautious with this trade. So I'm not in this trade at the moment. I kind of regret not being in it, to be honest, because we analyzed this perfectly here on the channel. We were looking at this, we saw a confirmation bounce to that previous level of resistance, using it as a support there, and we've had that nice big bounce to the upside. It is up. Let's take a look at this. Since that confirmation bounce, 10%. But if this continues to rally, if Bitcoin manages to make that breakthrough, we could see big changes in the price of Ethereum. So I am being very optimistic about what's coming, but I'm trying to be cautious at the same time. I have bullish bias, and I try and remove that when I'm trading, but it is incredibly, incredibly difficult, especially at these points in the markets when we're seeing all of this excitement. I think we are going to see some. Let's press save. That might be why. Maybe you'll be able to see me better now. What we can see is there's excitement in the markets. Everyone's is it Thanksgiving today? That is awful. I should know that, but we're from the UK. We don't need these things. If it's Thanksgiving today, happy Thanksgiving. If it was yesterday, I'm going to sound pretty stupid. It is some point this time. So people are away from their computers. Traders are going to be moving away from their computers. So we may not see that much price action over the weekend. And then obviously it gets into December. Then we get over Christmas time. Volumes drop off. Prices tend to have a little bit of a lull. So maybe towards the start of the new year, when we see that anticipation around spot Bitcoin ETFs in January or in March, we could see some more positive action there. But I'm very cautious when trading volumes are looking like they're dropping off, if it's the Christmas period or if it's Thanksgiving period. I always get cautious about that, because when volumes are lower, the price can move a lot faster by a smaller amount of money. It was indeed yesterday. Oh, well, now I look stupid, don't I, Lee? Let's see what's going on for some altcoins here and pretend I didn't say that. Happy Thanksgiving for yesterday, we should say. Let's take a look at some altcoins. Let me know some altcoins in the chat that you want to be taking a look at. Solana has pumped in massively within the last couple of weeks. It had an all-time high in the last bull market of $250, and it's up at 58 after being down at $8. That is a massive, massive gain there. So let's take a look at that. We're looking at a 634% gain. Now, who would have thought that was happening for Solana? Massive, massive changes for Solana in this bear market. Solana was seen as like one of the best coins in the markets last bull market. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was gaining from it. Loads of people made positive trades from this, myself included. And then they had a few problems. They had a few blips. The network kind of had a few periods of time where it went offline. They brought out that phone. It didn't go very well. FTX held a huge amount of it. And then when FTX collapsed, the price collapsed. And FTX still hold a huge amount of it and do have the power to dump their tokens. So we've seen a lot of stories around Solana, both good and bad within the last 2 years. But what we can see here is the community is strong and it is resilient. And that is the only thing I can say about Solana. I'm personally not a Solana holder. I don't think I will be a Solana holder. But the community is resilient. The community is very resilient. Let's take a look at NIA, because we looked at this earlier this week on a stream, and I was very interested in making a trade in this, but I actually decided against it. Now, if we take a look at the 4-hour chart here, we were looking at this level of the support that run through. In fact, do you know what? We should take it from here. I believe we were looking at this one here. So if you take it from the wicks, to be honest, it's looking even nicer than it did at the start of the week. If we take these levels and go across, let's see what we've got here. So we have taken this level of support, resistance, 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 and we've got these 3 points of where we've touched this level of support here as well. This is an interesting trade here, because I think when we're looking at altcoins, it's really important to be keeping an eye on what Bitcoin's doing, what Ethereum's doing. It's not always the case, but if Bitcoin's crashing and Ethereum's crashing, it's a lot harder to find an altcoin that's going to pump. So if Bitcoin looks good, Ethereum looks good, and you find the right altcoin, that's when I like to enter the trade. It has to be like the full lineup. That's why I prefer to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum. I just think they're more predictable and they are not reliant on as many other assets. But we can see here that was looking pretty interesting. I'm still not convinced that I want to enter this trade. We are holding this level of support, but it's not sure yet. It's not sure yet. I'm going to keep an eye on that within the next couple of hours. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got a Polkadot USDT. Let's delete all of these lines on the chart. We have a clear level of resistance here. I want to be keeping an eye on this. I want to be seeing what happens when we do get that breakout. If we get that confirmation bounce, I will be interested in that. A descending channel is something I like to see. And then I like to take a look at what's going on here. If any of you watched my videos during the last bull market and bear market, my favorite trading pattern is when we have a descending wedge, a descending channel, or just a downtrend in general, when we're getting lower lows and lower highs. That is the trading set layout that I was most profitable with in the last bull market. So I always look out for these. I will point out what my trading strategy is. I'm not going to say it's going to play out for this one because we haven't had the confirmation bounces or anything like that. But if we see, and this was particularly on Chainlink, I believe, last cycle, we have these bounces when we're in this range. And then if we get a breakout to the upside and a confirmation bounce, then my trading strategy in the last cycle was literally take the highs from the higher highs and the lower highs from that downtrend. And every time it tended to be that, let's say it breaks out here, it tended to be that it would use each one of these like a ladder. And at each one of these highs from that downtrend, I was taking profit. And I was doing that repeatedly. And that ended up pretty profitable for me last cycle. But you need to find your trading strategy that you enjoy, that you are comfortable with, that you are profitable with. Learn about investment strategies and trading strategies and technical analysis, all on the Crypto Saving Expert website. We have courses for that. Some are free, some are for CSE Plus members. But if you just want some free courses, make sure to check them out and make sure you can read the latest cryptocurrency news on there as well. Jerome says, where is Spud? Spud is not here today. If you did not join yesterday's live stream, we had Spud from Crypto Saving Expert joining us on the live stream, and he gave his insights into the cryptocurrency markets. To be honest, it works really well together because I am very much into the technical side of cryptocurrency. Before I worked at Crypto Saving Expert, I was a blockchain developer. I work in terms, I always look at the technology side of things. I look at trading Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm very kind of risk averse when it comes to my investment style and trading. I don't go into these low cap altcoins with 100% of my portfolio. I'm very strategic with it, and my risk management is very, very high compared to other people in the market. Some people take big risks and it pays off. Some people take small risks and it pays off slowly and like builds. That's the strategy I take. I do want to take a little bit more risk, but that's the approach I come from. I come from the technology side. I like to stay on top of the news. I like to stay trading Bitcoin and kind of dabble in those high cap coins. Whereas Ross here is like, he will be researching those 100x gems. He will find them and he will be working out which ones are best, how he can always moving his portfolio to get the best rewards out of the market. That's his focus there. So it's really good to have those kind of different opinions and different point of views on the markets for these live streams. So we will be doing more streams together. Maybe I like to look at the boring side, some would say, but that's just my idea of fun. So Spud will be joining us here again on the live streams very, very soon. I'm sure he will be back with us on Monday or Tuesday next week. And then he is going to be taking on the live streams on his own for a couple of weeks because I'm going to have some time off because I've not had time off in a year. We've done these live streams every single day for a year. I have not missed a day. I've taken you on holiday with me. I've taken you everywhere with me for a year, but I'm going to have some time off now. So Spud is going to take over those streams and be presenting them to you solo. So please make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff when he's on the stream, and show support in the chat. Fire questions in the live chat when he's doing the streams. That will just take a little bit of pressure off. His first ever stream was yesterday, and it went really, really well. So I'm sure the streams will be fun while I'm gone. Just make sure that you interact as much as possible because that really, really helps. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button for today's video as well. James says Bitcoin is pumping. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Do you know what? We're how far? We're 60 minutes into today's stream and we've not even looked at the news yet. I'm just rambling today. Let's see what's going on here. BTC USDT here. Bitcoin is pumping. It's in this zone of resistance. As I said, I'm cautious, but I'm excited. If we get to see it break to the upside of this level of resistance, things could be exciting. I'm keeping a close eye on that. We'll stay tuned with this on the smaller time frames. You can see we are rallying right now. I don't think we have any breaking news here today at the moment. For those of you that watch Miss Teen's Cryptos collab with me on this channel on Wednesday, you did see that the CZ news came on while we were on stream. So I'm trying to like make sure that we stay on top of breaking news comes through on the stream because we don't want to miss that. But right now, Bitcoin just like seems to be pumping for the fun of it. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Let's take a look at the cryptocurrency news today. We're not going to talk too much about spot Bitcoin ETFs today because we talk about them a lot, but JP Morgan is expecting the SEC to approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs, in fact, by January the 10th. 2024. Now that would be brilliant for the markets. We are also seeing a video of, let's find this, we are on the Crypto Saving Expert Twitter profile here. You can see a video here where we saw a commissioner from the SEC stating she doesn't understand why spot Bitcoin ETFs have been getting rejected. Now, where's this video gone? Have I lost it? Well, I've basically just explained it to you. Anyway, a commissioner from the SEC. Here we go. Let's put this on full volume. So there we go. Now, I think this is positive news. I think Bitcoin did pump off the back of this massively, and I was in a trade at the time, so I was very happy with that. Anything. She said in that sentence herself, she's had this point of view for years. The SEC has still rejected them, so her point of view isn't the only point of view that's taken into consideration. But it's just bullish to see some positive opinions about this within the SEC, and just nice to hear that they're not all anti-crypto, anti-spot Bitcoin ETFs. Somebody said there's no sound. Oh, well, there we go. But she basically said she's a commissioner from the SEC, and she said spot Bitcoin ETFs. I'm having a nightmare with the technicals today, aren't I? Spot Bitcoin ETFs are something she doesn't understand why they are blocking, and she hasn't understood it for years. So she hasn't understood it for years. It's no real change, but it's positive to see that they're not all anti-crypto. Let's see what's going on here. We have seen momentarily CZ, the former CEO of Binance now, the guy that just stepped down and has pleaded guilty to not following AML regulation correctly, had his Twitter account temporarily restricted. It is back now, and I think this morning, in fact, he's even followed that Martini guy, which is just a random thing to do, I think. Crypto Jesus followed me today, tweeted that Martini guy. So CZ now follows Jordan, which is crazy. Obviously, now that he is not CEO of crypto, you can see that he's actually followed quite a few YouTube cryptocurrency based channels within the last couple of days. So maybe he's just kind of like, maybe CZ is now going to be a fan of that Martini guy. Maybe he's going to be watching TMG trades. Let's see what's going on here. James Peck says, when does the CSE sale end? Very, very soon, James. And we are going to have more offers today. Make sure to stay tuned today because we are going to be posting every hour the best discounts of the day. So make sure to follow our Twitter account and see what's tuned there. If you are a CSE Plus member, we'll fire them all out to you this morning so you can have access to them all day. So make sure to check them out. I believe the neon lights, I think today might be the last day of the sale. The neon lights are insane. I still haven't put mine on the wall behind me. I think I've said about 50 times that I'm going to do it. I have not done it. If we go to the merch store, I'll show you what these are. Monkey Nut says he's being nosy to see what users are saying about him. We're all positive in the cryptocurrency space when it comes to CZ. I feel like the whole industry have kind of like given him a bow and a round of applause and said thank you very much for everything you've done for the industry. Yes, maybe it's come like this way, but he's done a lot to push the industry forwards, and we can all appreciate that. What we can see here in the merch store is you can save £40 on a Bitcoin logo neon sign right now. So they're the discounts. We've got lots of Black Friday discounts there. They aren't going to last much longer. We do need to put the prices up again because we need to make money. And I don't think we are at these prices. So that's what's happening there. Let's see what's going on in the cryptocurrency news, though, because, again, as I said, we're 22 minutes in. We haven't even started talking about it. So let's check out the crypto news. Please don't forget, before we do, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. First news story of the day, UK to introduce digital asset legislation. It's not really exciting news story to start the day with, but we'll just run through this quickly. The UK is set to boost its appeal to the digital asset industry after a troublesome year for the country. The contradiction here is shocking because the UK said they wanted to become a cryptocurrency hotspot. Then they put in this huge amount of regulation from the FCA last year, basically banning all advertisement of cryptocurrency to UK users, no matter where you are based in the world. So if you are an English-speaking company advertising and a UK user can be affected by that, then you need to be very careful about what you can say. There's huge problems here when it comes to this. Let's see, some breaking news has just come in here. $70.5 billion to flow into spot Bitcoin ETF products. This is a more interesting story. Let's talk about this one. $70.5 billion to flow into spot Bitcoin ETF products, according to a report here. So it's anticipated to bring in billions of dollars into the cryptocurrency industry. Glassnode posted a deep dive into the spotlight on the spot ETF and the potential impact of it. The article is advertised as an 18-minute read, so let's summarize the important points. Now, as we've just said, we have seen from JP Morgan, they're expecting these spot Bitcoin ETFs to be accepted by January the 10th. And from that, this is what Glassnode is expecting to see. So the initial overview of where Bitcoin is at, both as a price point, but also several other factors, provides vital analysis that will contribute to the price movement over the next 12 to 18 months. The following sections were centered around Bitcoin's potential reaction to a spot ETF when compared with gold. Well, examine historical parallels with gold ETF and recent demand analyses from market insiders. This will help us gauge the potential influx of capital into Bitcoin markets following the ETF's approval. The report noted that gold went on a parabolic run in the decade following the spot ETF approval, with gold's price rallying 400% from $350 per ounce in 2003 to $1,815 in 2012. This growth narrative offers an optimistic outlook for the potential impact of the first spot Bitcoin ETF on Bitcoin's market. If Bitcoin were to follow the same trajectory as gold did after the approval of the first spot gold ETF, we could expect a substantial increase in the asset's price. Yes, that is bullish into the cosmos. The report that provided a balanced argument for Bitcoin's case, stating that the ETF market may not capture as much exposure as many think. So what we are seeing here is several factors we use to base an estimation of the potential capital inflow into the spot ETF market following approval. For the sake of the argument, let's estimate that 10% of the combined AUM of the SPY Vanguard Total Stock Market and Vanguard Total Bond Market ETFs could move towards Bitcoin. It's also used 5% of gold's market AUM as a baseline for estimating inflows. From these calculations, the article states that $60.6 billion could flow into Bitcoin from stocks and bond ETFs and $9.9 billion from gold. Therefore, the report suggested that $70.5 billion in new capital could flow into the spot Bitcoin ETF products. Now, we have seen an alternative view from Galaxy Digital. They're estimating $14 billion flowing into the products in the first year, with this figure increasing to $27 billion and $39 billion in the second and third years. So these are massively different predictions. We're talking tens of billions of dollars difference in the predictions from Galaxy Digital and from Glassnode, but these are all speculative guesses here. We're just looking at the markets, seeing what's happened previously and trying to project that onto what's happening for Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin, the market cap for Bitcoin is $735 billion. If we're looking at $70 billion adding into spot Bitcoin ETFs, that's game changing. Let's see what's going on here. James has got to run. Have a lovely weekend, James. Thank you very much for tuning in as always. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. Spot Bitcoin ETF news is bullish. We are seeing expectations from many different analysts that a lot of money could be pumping into Bitcoin following an ETF launch. That is something I agree with. I am of the opinion that these ETFs should get accepted. It's a matter of when, not if. We are just waiting to see when that is going to happen. JP Morgan expects before the 10th of January we will see a bunch of these getting accepted, but we don't know yet. The SEC has been full of surprises within the last 2 years, and we don't put anything past them at this point in time, but we will stay tuned there. Let's see what else is going on here in the news. We have that digital asset legislation, UK trying to push this positive face when it comes to cryptocurrency, even though we've seen a growth slump following the new FCA laws that came in October. We've seen Bybit leave the UK. We've seen many cryptocurrency company exchanges leaving the UK. Bitcoin is at $38,000. Please make sure to like today's video to pump Bitcoin. That's the strategy here. We can see we are at that major level of resistance now. I am being very, very cautious. I'm not in a trade at this point in time. That there specifically is the level that we have peaked at for the last 3 times we've tried to break up at these ranges. Now, I'm just being cautious here. I'm not shorting. I'm not a Bitcoin shorter, especially in a bull market. In the bear market, yes, sometimes I dropped my pride and did a short. But now, at this point in time, there's no more shorts from me for the next 2 years. I'm not interested in shorting now. But if it were a bear market, I'd be looking at this and thinking, I am just being cautious. I'm being cautious here. Let's see what else is going on. If we do break through to the upside, I will be talking about that. And I will be going through some levels of support and resistance at the end of today's stream. And we'll look at some levels above $38,000 as well, because we are at that point and it is possible that we could see a break to the upside today. What have we got here? CZ's account was briefly hidden following Binance's resignation. We did talk about that. We have seen a layer 2 network Blast become the 3rd largest holder of staked Ethereum amid pyramid scheme allegations. The total value of assets locked on the layer 2 network has surpassed $335 million, which is absolutely insane when they've got this, what is being called a pyramid-like system. Let's take a look at the next one here. This is an interesting one that's being going around social media. Netflix's investment into sci-fi series resulted in $4 million Doge purchase. So it has emerged that Netflix's budget to create a sci-fi series resulted in some funds being used to buy Dogecoin. A unique story has surfaced of a failed Netflix show that ended up in a cryptocurrency purchase and frankly mind-boggling financial decisions from the director. So in 2018, Netflix bought a sci-fi series from 47 Ronin director, investing $11 million into the budget to create the series. However, instead of using the budget provided by Netflix, he allegedly lost $5.9 million trading risky stock options. Now, after losing over half the budget, he seemingly appeared to be in the mindset of one risky trade to make it all back. We've all been there, we've all tried it. He then decided to invest $4 million of the remaining budget into Doge, which then turned into $27 million after the rise of meme coins. However, despite nearly tripling the sci-fi show budget, the director did not complete the series and made several other outlandish financial decisions. Instead of filming the series, the director allegedly spent $8.7 million on luxury items like sports cars and clothing. That is absolutely insane. Imagine spending $8.7 million of money that has been gifted to you. Not gifted to you, given to you to make a series. How could you even think? I can't even think what I'd spend $8.7 million on. Never mind if it's not intended for me to be spending on myself. The car purchases included a Rolls Royce and Ferrari, a true when Lambo moment for the directors after turning $4 million into $27 million with Dogecoin. As it stands, not a single episode has been filmed and edited of the series, marking a unique occurrence to what sounds like a fictionalized film in itself. After sinking $55 million into the never-produced series, Netflix pulled the plug and is now reportedly suing the director turned Doge investor. Now, that is a crazy, crazy story. That is a story that Netflix should turn into a movie. That is a bizarre story to have happened. Spending $8.7 million on luxury items, absolutely bizarre. And I wonder if Netflix will be able to get some of the proceeds from that wild story there. Let's take a look at the next one here and see what's going on. I wonder if any meme coins are popping off the back of this with related names. What else have we got here? NFT trader claims 22.8 million Blur tokens in latest airdrop. So an NFT trader with the name Hanwi ETH has claimed almost 23 million Blur tokens worth $11 million. An NFT trader operating under the synonym has claimed Blur 22.85 million Blur tokens worth $11 million from Blur's recent airdrop. An $11 million airdrop. I don't think we discuss airdrops enough because airdrops can make a serious amount of money. Blur's end of season airdrop is a tactic to encourage traders to use its platform, rewarding NFT traders based on their activity. This recent airdrop distributed 300 million tokens valued at $146 million based on users' anticipation within the NFT ecosystem. At present, 38,000 addresses have claimed their rewards, totaling 267 million tokens. That is absolutely insane. An $11 million airdrop. You would not complain about that, would you? Let's take a look at what else is going on, and then we're just keeping a close eye on Bitcoin. Maybe we should have Bitcoin's price up on the screen at all times. Maybe that's an improvement we need for the streams. Let's see what's going on next in the markets. We've got somebody paid. Right, this is insane. A $3.14 million fee for a transaction on the Bitcoin network. Clearly, to me, this is a mistake. They've spent 83 Bitcoin on a transaction fee to send, I believe it was even less Bitcoin that they were sending. They've sent, the initial transaction was for 139.42 Bitcoin, worth approximately $5.21 million. However, after paying such an enormous fee, the recipient's address received 55.76 Bitcoin. Now that is one disappointing transaction, and this is why we always need to be incredibly careful. I mean, I don't know how many of our viewers have 139 Bitcoin to lose, but we do need to be incredibly careful when it comes to making these transactions. Make sure everything is correct. If you are in a rush, you can make mistakes like this from time to time. Maybe potentially the Bitcoin. Oh, here we go. The block in which the large fee was paid was mined by Ampool, which generated 91.46 Bitcoin due to the 83 Bitcoin fee alongside others and the 6.25 Bitcoin block reward. The block represents a $3.42 million payday for Ampool just from that one individual block mined, which is was at height 818,087. Now, this is the second largest fee in months. We did see this back in September. A 19.82 Bitcoin fee was paid on the network, worth roughly $500,000. Now, it was Paxos that made that transaction, and the miner who received the Bitcoins was F2 Pools, and they opted to return them to Paxos after some deliberation on Twitter. Now, I thought we'd have the same outcome for this. I think taking that Bitcoin is a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, Ampool and every other mining company is a company, and then if they take these profits, and it needs to happen. Very unlikely to happen to me, Joe said Jerome. Me too. I don't think that spare 83 Bitcoin in my Bitcoin wallet. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I've got anything to worry about there. Maybe it would be higher than I expected, but I don't think I've got a spare 83 Bitcoin to put in a transaction fee. Let's see what's going on in the next article. We've got Kyber Swap suffers attack resulting in $47 million stolen. I think we discussed this yesterday, but I'll say it again. I've said it before. Mining attacks in the cryptocurrency space is something we need to learn from. The coding languages we use in cryptocurrency are relatively new, and we have not worked out their best practices yet. Some of these attacks are attacks that we've seen before, but we need to continue to build on the attacks and learn from them, learn how to make these contracts more secure. This is a new industry. We are going to see growing pains like these attacks, but if we want to get into the mainstream, if we want to kind of evolve traditional industries, we need these smart contracts to become watertight, and that can only happen over time from trial and error. When we see hackers taking advantage of vulnerabilities, we learn from them, we grow from them, and over time we will become watertight, and we can go into these industries and show them, look, we are safer than the traditional systems when it comes to blockchain. Let's take a look at the next article here. We've already discussed that one. Swiss City incorporates Polygon into crypto payment app. So it's set to incorporate Polygon into its crypto payment app, My Lugano. I will drop the link to that in the live chat, but I think that's all we need to say on that one. Let's see what else is going on here. We have prosecutors push for CZ to stay in the US until sentencing. So he was granted the right to return to the UAE following his guilty plea, but now they're saying, look, he could be a flight risk. He's facing a maximum of 18 months in prison. Binance have already paid a $4.3 billion fine to the Department of Justice, and CZ has paid a $50 million fine and posted a $175 million bond under the agreement. He would return to the US 2 weeks before his sentencing date. Failure to return would see the founder fined an additional $250,000 and face up to 10 years in prison. To be honest, I still trust CZ. I still think that he will be turning up to this. CZ may face 10 to 16 months in prison. He's pleading guilty to charges when it comes to violating US anti-money laundering charges. So basically he's the CEO, so he's responsible for Binance. If they've not been following anti-money laundering policies correctly to the T, he's the one that's responsible for that. Now, so that's what's happening there. He took full responsibility for his actions and mistakes. He said, I just want to say one thing. I want to close the issue. So I want to take responsibility and close this chapter in my life. We have seen CZ is still the majority shareholder of Binance. I think Spud said yesterday he has 80% of the shares when it comes to Binance, which is absolutely insane. The company has grown massively and he's managed to hold on to such a big portion of the company. He will continue to be the majority shareholder of Binance, and he will continue to consult the new CEO and the team at Binance. The current CEO that has just been stepped up and brought in was already working at Binance and has a brilliant track record. So hopefully we do see some positivity continuing for Binance. It is looking like it can continue as an exchange and lead the path for the cryptocurrency industry. We have seen from the reports from the Department of Justice that they have not been accused of misappropriating funds or doing anything similar to FTX. It was just those anti-money laundering policies that weren't being followed quite as they want them to be. But I think that's all we've got for the news. So let's go back to Bitcoin here. As I said, that level of resistance, if I was a shorter, I'd be in profit right now. What we can see here is that level of resistance is strong. We've seen this over and over again. Right now, we are at $37,700. I'm not saying we're not going to retest that again. Maybe we will. Maybe today is the day that we break to the upside, but it's a level of resistance. So I'm just being cautious when it comes to this. You can see this kind of dip here was off the back of some news. So I'm not getting rid of this level of support. Let's get rid of some other lines for now because it is looking a little bit messy. What you can see here is The important things to note here, to be honest, are just these two lines here. This was off the back of news, so this does not discredit this level of support in any way, shape, or form, I do not believe. But we have this level of resistance there as well. It's an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle has a higher probability of breaking to the upside than to the downside. Buyers are happy every single time to buy in at higher levels. Sellers, yes, they're holding this point strong, but how long can they hold this for? We are at this point now where we have this level of support at $36,300. We have a level of resistance at $38,000, and we are waiting to see which one of those is going to break first. I would like another bounce to this level of support. Every dip now I am taking as an opportunity. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. You have to assess your own situation and your own portfolio. But right now, things are heating up. The halving is getting closer. I feel like I've been saying that for years on this channel, but it is getting closer. I think the new year is going to come quicker than we can all imagine. And then all of a sudden it will be April 2024. That Bitcoin halving will arrive. And we'll be here on these live streams celebrating that. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Tune in on Monday to come on the channel. Spud will be here as well on Monday, and you'll be able to hear some differing opinions on the cryptocurrency space. Jason Smith says, where's the CME sitting for the weekend? Well, stay tuned on that. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll report on that on Monday morning, see if we've got any CME gaps to discuss, and see what that could mean for next week. But that's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back here tomorrow with another not tomorrow, on Monday for another cryptocurrency news update. Goodbye, and I hope Bitcoin pumps this afternoon.